Let's just dive right into this explainer, shall we? Today we're unpacking a really specific, meticulously detailed document from a group known as Life Chanyuan. It's literally called the Roadmap to Heaven. And this was written back in 2006, and what's fascinating is that it doesn't just toss around vague philosophical ideas about the afterlife. No, it functions as a step-by-step spiritual itinerary. Think of it as a highly structured roadmap designed to guide someone from their everyday earthly existence all the way up to a multi-tiered heaven.
To get there, we'll be following its four distinct stages, starting out at the earthly starting line, then becoming a Chanyuan celestial, shifting your consciousness, and finally, exploring the three heavenly realms.
So, kicking things off with Part 1, the earthly starting line, grounding the journey. Now, before you even officially enter the Life Chanyuan framework, this roadmap demands a massive, unified foundation of global knowledge. Like, while you're still just living your normal life, you actually have to synthesize the wisdom of Jesus, the teachings of Sakyamuni the Buddha, Muhammad, and Lao Tzu. But get this, it doesn't just stop with ancient religious figures. The text explicitly mandates grounding yourself in modern empirical science as your baseline before you can take another step. Pretty unique mix, right?
Okay, so once that incredibly diverse foundation is laid, the text dictates that you're finally ready to officially enter Life Chanyuan. At this point, the curriculum narrows down and gets highly specific. You're instructed to study their foundational texts, primarily what they call the Chanyuan corpus and the Shufan corpus. You're also supposed to listen to the thoughts of the Chanyuan masters to absorb their unique wisdom. Basically, you've brought in the knowledge of the outside world, and now you're applying it to this very specific spiritual framework.
Moving right along to Part 2, becoming a Chanyuan celestial. The transformation begins.
The text states that after you finish this foundational studies, you have to try and become what they call a Chanyuan celestial. Now, this is a unique term created for this roadmap. A Chanyuan celestial isn't just, a casual weekend follower. It represents an individual who is ready to undergo a really profound mental and behavioral transformation. And the core requirement for this new identity, you have to train yourself to think in what the text calls an unconventional way. This means actively breaking down all superstitions and any societal shackles that they believe confine human nature.
In practice, this unconventional thinking requires a really radical detachment from your earthly identity. To actually progress, you have to gradually abandon traditional family structures, the entire concept of a nation-state, political allegiances, and even conventional religion. Yeah, it's a lot. And in their place, you deliberately rewire your mind and behaviors toward universal virtues: sincerity, kindness, beauty, love, faith, and honesty. It is a complete mental rewiring, substituting those external earthly allegiances with internal spiritual compass points.
Which brings us to our third stage, shifting your consciousness, the internal work.
The text uses this beautifully evocative metaphor to describe the immense daily effort that this stage requires. It says you must, quote, consciously sweep the dust and stains on your soul, just like wiping off the dust on a mirror. I mean, it paints a picture of a soul that is naturally reflective and clear, but that's just been clouded up by the world over time. And this isn't some one-time event either. It's an active, ongoing purification process. You literally have to actively wipe away the grime of conventional earthly thinking to prep your mind for what's coming next.
So the ultimate goal of all this deep, mirror-wiping cultivation is a complete shift in consciousness. The text describes this as entering the non-material world. It's this fascinating dual state of existence. The roadmap explains that at this stage, your physical body is still just out here on Earth, dealing with gravity in daily life, but your mind essentially lives in heaven. Your consciousness has detached from the physical world so completely that you are fundamentally experiencing a heavenly reality right from within your earthly body.
Achieving this bifurcated state, body on Earth, mind in heaven, that's what allows you to progress to the next major milestone on the map. You're now able to enter what the source text calls the second home, or sometimes it's referred to as the new oasis for life. The roadmap describes this not just as a state of mind, but as actually experiencing a new lifestyle that is copied straight from the heavenly realms. You are essentially living out a beta test of heaven while still walking around on Earth, surrounded by other people who have reached this exact same level of unconventional thinking and spiritual purification.
And that leaves us perfectly into the final stage, the three heavenly realms, the final destinations.
Once you're living that heavenly lifestyle on Earth, the map suddenly opens straight upward. In this text, Heaven is definitely not a single one-size-fits-all destination. It functions almost like unlocking levels in a complex video game. There are 3 distinct realms, and where you end up depends entirely on the specific spiritual keys you manage to acquire. To guarantee entry into the 1,000-year world, you've got to practice Chenyuan meditation. To level up to the 10,000-year world, you must grasp the 8 major ways of thinking. And for the absolute highest realm, the Elysium world, you need to thoroughly understand what they call the 8 secrets of life.
Now, the text heavily emphasizes that this progression is based almost entirely on free will. You can secure your place in the 1,000-year world and just stay there if you want. But if you don't want to stop there, you hold the power to master deeper secrets. Comprehending those 8 major ways of thinking, that automatically unlocks the 10,000-year world. Master the 8 secrets of life, and you can ascend to the Elysium world at any time. Basically, your vertical ascent is controlled entirely by your own thirst for this highly specific knowledge.
We conclude with a really grounded final reminder from the author at the very end of the text. Because, after laying out this sweeping cosmic itinerary, from studying science and Jesus all the way to unlocking the Elysium world, the author frankly states, the theory is just simple as that, and the map is very clear, but it is not easy to really follow it and meet the standard. It's a pretty stark reminder. Drawing the map is one thing, actually packing your bags, shedding your earthly ties, and walking the road is entirely another. So as we wrap up this explainer, we're left to really ponder this entire structure. It's a remarkably orderly view of spiritual progression, blending global philosophy with these strict, tiered requirements for the afterlife. The itinerary for the soul is laid out right in front of us, beautifully organized and perfectly structured. But it leaves us with the ultimate question. If a roadmap to heaven requires you to literally leave behind your family, your country, and your conventional mind before you even truly begin, do we have what it takes to actually make the climb?